Hi, folks. Angelique Anderson here, business consultant. And today, our topic that we're going to talk about is your leadership voice. Number one, finding it. And then number two, using what your strength is in your leadership voice and going beyond what you just know about it and using it to your advantage and making sure that you continue to build on that strength that you have and you understand it completely inside and out. So I'm sure all of you have gone to a leadership class in your lifetime. We all have taken classes and seminars about leadership. If you are a true leader, I'm sure you've been in these. And what they describe usually anywhere between like 4 to 6 different quadrants, will you say, that you could fit into as far as a leadership style. So, just for example, some of the classes I've been in talked about maybe the 4 quadrants were being a coach, coaching, a telling person, a delegating person, or a joining person. That's one class I had been in. Another class that I had been in was either you are a coach, you're a guru, you're an analyst, or you're a catalyst. So that was another leadership class that I took. But my absolute favorite leadership class that I took told me about the 4 quadrants being driver, analytical, expressive, and amiable. And so when I talk to my employees personally about leadership styles, I use those 4. And I'm going to kind of go through them and tell you kind of what is involved in each one. And then you can really think about which one, as I'm speaking, that you think that you belong in. And then from there, we'll talk about how you can use these for the future. So let's start with driver. Driver's kind of your go-getter. I mean, the first thing that would come out of their mouth is just do it already. Like, just get it done. The questions that they probably ask are what and when. Like, what's going to happen and when is it going to happen? And they think that change is great. Between the quadrants, the 4 quadrants, their biggest thing is to tell and getting tasks done. They just go, go, go. They drive the bus. The next quadrant was expressive. What they like to do is talk about let's all do it. Let's all do it as a team, as a group. The question that comes to mind for them is who else? Who else is going to be joining us? Who else is going to be helping us with this project? They are very centered around energy and optimism. They're very positive people. I tend to find myself kind of falling a little bit in this quadrant, even though after I've been a leader for so many years, I could honestly say I kind of fit in all of them, and then I've perfected that. But this is probably the one that I fit in the most, and all of you guys that watch my videos probably know that about me. An expressive person loves people, and they also kind of fit in the tell this, so they get involved. They get engaged. And the next quadrant is analytical. Obviously, you can think of an analytical person. What they like to do is do it right, or they don't want to do it all at all. They're very like a perfectionist about their work. Their question is how to get it done. They love processes. They love documentation. They love spreadsheets, and they always love to have a plan. So they're planners. Analyticals talk more about the task at hand, but they also ask a lot of questions because they want to make sure that they're on the right path to their project that they're working on. So they're very analytical about that, and they'll ask questions. And the last quadrant is amiable. So when you are amiable, you are very much a people person, and you are caring though. So you're not like bubbly and expressive. You're more compassionate and caring about the people, you're saying is we're great. We're great together. We are all great. The questions that you may ask are why and who. Why are we doing this? To make sure it's a good fit for everybody and make sure it's a good fit for the company, but also who's going to join us in doing it. Your favorite things are cooperation and loyalty of your employees, loyalty of the people, yourself being loyal as well. You're very people oriented and you like to ask questions. That's very important to you to ask questions. So uh, the the thing is, you can have a primary quadrant that you belong into, or style that you belong into, and then you can have secondaries. And what a good thing is kind of like myself. I kind of balance myself out in all four of the quadrants, and that's a-okay if you feel you're a strong enough leader to be able to do that. Now, if you have a primary and you fit in one of those quadrants, it's very important for you to, number one, understand who you are and what your leadership style is. Really research it and then make sure that you develop it fully and correctly. And then from there, you want to make sure that that's your brand. That's who you are. If you're a driver, just say I'm a driver and this is who I am, and develop that. But make sure that you also know your weaknesses within that. So if you're a driver and you're pushy, you don't want to become mean, and you want to make sure that you're a good leader to your people and that you are not using that to destroy yourself as well, because you could. If you're amiable, you could become too passionate and too caring about the employees and get too involved in their personal lives. That could be a weakness, and that gets scary. Or you could become too quiet as an amiable and not have a voice and not stand out and not be engaged with people. And that could also be a weakness for you. So be very careful to investigate what the strengths and the weaknesses are of your quadrant, and make sure you understand yourself. Now, using the quadrants to understand the people that you work with or the people that you deal with day to day is so important. So even if you are not a leader at work, or you just want to have dealings with people outside in the community, the first thing that you should do with an employee especially is figure out what quadrant does he or she belong in. Let's just say you're dealing with Skippy and he is an expressive. You need to know that before you communicate fully with that person, because then you can change your style to make sure that you're talking correctly with an expressive if you're a driver. And you have to realize that everyone's in a different quadrant. Not everybody is the same as you, and that's okay. But then you need to learn how to communicate properly with someone who is in a different quadrant than you. And then you need to be able to express yourself with that person in the correct way. So knowing the quadrants, knowing what your leadership style and your leadership voice is, then also knowing everyone else's around you and being cognizant of that is really important to help you just get through the day-to-day life. Whether it's at church or at your kid's school or just out in the community or at work or at home with your spouse or your kids. Know what quadrant everybody's in, know what quadrant your family members are in, then research it, strengths and weaknesses, know how to communicate with that type of person, understand your own strengths and weaknesses within your quadrant, and believe me, your communication with people will definitely improve. Your leadership skills will definitely improve, and this will be a good thing. So go out there, do some research on the internet, learn what quadrant you're in, and enjoy it and use it to your abilities. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.